Hi, everybody. Welcome back on the Maroon Devils Network. I'm Gary Ayers along with head coach Sherman Holt, and we're in a brand new venue this week because this is Hall of Fame week at Swain County High School. We're going to be talking about the people that are going to be inducted coming up in the ceremony this Thursday, and of course on Friday at halftime they're going to be recognized. And Coach, we'll talk about that in just a minute, but right now, wow, we go back and talk about that Hayesville Yellowjacket football game, and I've got to believe, and you may correct me if I'm wrong, that's one of the more physical, tough games that we have played all year long last Friday night at Hayesville.
Yeah, it was very physical football game, very old-fashioned. Coach McClure does a good job with his kids. They play extremely hard, and they've got some kids that presented some problems, and so it was just a very physical game. It was kind of a defensive struggle for the most part, and finally in the second half, towards the midway through the third quarter, we were able to hold on to the football. That was very, very, very important, and we were able to sustain drives and just kind of move the football down the field like we should have been able to do earlier, and hats off to Hayesville. They played real hard, and they had a good game plan. They took away some things that we had done, and so we kind of had to make a couple adjustments. But in the end, football is a very physical game.
It is.
And it's kind of a testament of our kids, of how hard we've prepared and how hard they've worked to go be physical. And so we got to do some things, clean up, but overall you cannot be mad at the way we played and our effort.
Right. Coach, you're talking about the effort. It was fantastic because, for the first three quarters, it was a struggle. We had several fumbles, had 3 interceptions, and those turnovers obviously hurt every time against a good Hayesville football team. But I think one thing that impressed me, we didn't quit. That fourth quarter turned this game around because without that strong fourth quarter, we might be looking at a loss instead of a win. But what a great fourth quarter it was, and these guys really stepped up.
Yeah, I think it's a testament not only to our kids but to our coaching staff. They, our coaches do a real good job of motivating our kids, getting them prepared, whether it's your position group or special teams or whatever. But, we went at halftime, and we were not very pleased with what we had done production-wise in the first half. And we got on to them. We challenged them. It was not a go in there and feel good moment. And so coming out of halftime, I feel like we were ready and prepared, with the changes we had made and the motivational aspect of that in the second half. And so you gotta commend our kids, but I also want to commend our coaches for, being a motivator, being a person, people there on the sideline to keep those kids stirred up, because it's very easy to face the adversity that we faced in the turnover game and just, kind of fold and throw the towel in. But, we're not going to do that. Our kids are tremendous in responding when bad things happen. And so we're proud of that, of not quitting, continuing to believe, continuing to fight, scratch, strain, and just having grit. We talk about grit a lot. And so our kids played with tremendous grit in the second half, I felt like. And, we finally were able to do the things that we thought we needed to do to win. And so, just hats off to them again for their effort.
Yeah. Coach, we had some big plays. Reese had a big touchdown pass to Cole Weichel. And then one thing that really impressed me, the running game with Josh Collins and Josiah Glaspie really started clicking in that backfield. And those things together really pull that game out for us, seems like.
Yeah, we had not played Joe in the backfield for, the last 3 or 4 weeks. And going into halftime, we talked about it as a staff of probably having to bring him back in the backfield a little bit more. And it's kind of the two-headed monster. They can't key on Josh if Joe's back there. And so, they did a real good job of sharing the workload. They roughly were I think Joe had 14 carries, Josh had 19 or 20, something like that, and so it was very even, and it gives us a different dimension,
Right,
and so makes us a little bit harder to defend. And, Joe, at that particular time, we said it last week, we go with the guys that got the hot hand, and him and Josh were kind of clicking and alternating in that. And so we felt good about that. And, it's always good when you can add a little more athleticism in the backfield when we put Joe back there.
Yeah. Tough game with the Hayesville Yellowjackets last week. Maroon Devils, though, persevered and got the job done to stay 7-0. And, Coach, again, coming in this week, as we always like to do, is talk about some people who are really helping our football program and spending money that really backs up these kids and our coaches.
Yeah, our cafeteria staff, they feed our kids every Monday, and local market feeds us spaghetti on Tuesday. And I know we say that every week, but those are two constants every Monday and Tuesday that those women in the cafeteria help, and the local market feeds us spaghetti. And then on Thursday, we're going to the nursing home to do a little bit of community service and eat with them. And then Friday, Galbraith Creek is going to feed us our pregame meal.
Okay.
And so we appreciate all the churches that do that on Fridays. And so that's real big. And then I want to actually give a big thank you to Mark Fortner and Dwight Winchester, big supporters of our football team financially.
Yeah.
And, I think Dwight's going into the Hall of Fame this week as a patron and a player. And it's just people like them that give financially to our programs that help, build the experience that our kids get to have. And so I wanted to take a moment just to say thank you to Dwight and Mark for what they do for us financially. Huge supporters of our football team and all our athletic teams and our schools. And so we just want to thank them for their contribution and support and believing in what we're doing.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing is people are willing to help, and you just got to be able to ask. You got to be able to be involved with the community. That's a big part of it. And so we just want to thank those people.
Oh, no doubt. Talking about that, as you can see, fans in the background, we're in the Hall of Fame building that I think was really a vision of a couple of folks who I think really made this happen. Robert White, of course, one of our initial Hall of Fame inductees, another great athlete and great friend, Steve Claxton, along with others, really helped make this a possibility. And, Coach, going in this week, as you mentioned, let's talk about the folks who are going to be inducted this week. We have 7 outstanding not only athletes but people who are going to be inducted this week. You talked about Dwight Winchester. I've kind of labeled him the 3 W's. We've got Dwight Winchester, who's a great patron and was a very good player here as well as an athlete. We've got Melissa Watkins, outstanding basketball player. Her numbers are just incredible, and you'll see more of those later this week. Zach Weeks, one of the best offensive lineman we've ever had here at Swain County High School, went on to play at Western Carolina University, all conference at both levels. Then we got the M&M boys. We've got Mark Manley coming in here, and the Manley name has been associated with Swain High for so many years. And we got Spencer McCoy, another state champion wrestler. You'll hear more about that. And then 2 beloved coaches who I think made us all better, not only as coaches but as people, talking about Dickie Inslee and Pat Colville. And Coach, these people just mean so much to those of us who knew them, and wow, just an outstanding group that we're going to be inducting this week and talking about more as the week goes on.
Yeah, when you mention those names, it just adds to the legacy that we have here at Swain County.
Yeah.
And, those people, whether they played, whether they coached, whether they're patrons or donors, it takes tremendous people, to be part of a championship team. Yeah. And it don't matter, skill level is very, very important. But you talk about all those people and you look at what they did or what they are doing now. throughout their life, it just gets better as they grow and develop and they mature and they get into the business world. And so it's not only the athletic part of it, it's the, like you said, making people better, you know, in a coach's standpoint, you know, and I take that very seriously, you know, because every day we have an opportunity to influence people like those two coaches that you mentioned that have influenced countless people over the years. And so it's a very special week for us here at Swain County because we get to induct 7 people into our Hall of Fame that have poured so much into our program, whether it be by playing, whether it be by coaching, whether it be by financial support or just willing to help. And so it's a big week for not only those people and their families, but for our school, our community. And, you know, we're looking forward to being able to honor these 7 people and recognize what they have done for our school.
Oh, no doubt. Makes us all proud to be Maroon Devils. And, Coach, coming in this Friday, wow, it's all we have to say is Swain versus Murphy. Anybody who's been around here any time at all realizes, wow, there's so much tradition about this game. There's always, seems like every year, so much riding on this game, and this year is no different. We saw Robbinsville get a close win over Murphy last Friday, but Murphy's still in the playoff picture, along with our Maroon Devils, along with Robbinsville. I think we're the 3 teams still fighting for a conference championship, and obviously the playoffs that come later. But it seems like every week in the Smoky Mountain Conference we see some great athletes. Last Friday, for example, at Hayesville, we ran into Taylor McClure. This Friday, we're going to run into Hunter Stalkup, just one of many good athletes at Murphy. And these kids always bring a special dynamic to their respective team, don't they? And it makes it hard every Friday to come out with a win.
Yeah, you know, we talk about the level that our conference plays at every week, I think, and it not only it just gets tougher, you know, and so you know there's not much that you like you said, Swain Murphy, you just mentioned those 2 schools, and it's a very traditionally rich rivalry, you know, and it's because of 2 programs that have been very successful, and so normally when you have that kind of creates the rivalry and the competitive, you know, nature between 2 schools. And so, you know, Murphy, Coach Watson does a real good job. They've got the Stalkup kid. A kid that I think's a little underrated is the Cameron Clem, the other tailback, number 5. He's a tremendous athlete. They got a couple kids that are at wide out, and you know, you talk about Murphy, and you know they run the football, but they have been very successful throwing the ball at certain times. And so the Scogan kid, we got to keep an eye on him, and you know, it's just they've got 4 to 5 different things that they do, and they do it very, very well. And so it's just one of the, again, we got to have a good week of practice, good week of preparation. And, you know, our kids come in yesterday, they were locked in. We had a real good meeting, film study, had a good practice for about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. And, you know, you could tell it was Murphy. You know, you could tell it was a traditional Murphy week. Kids are focused. They're a little more, you know, I'm not going to say like wired, but they're just very focused yesterday on a Monday. And so we like that. But, you know, it's going to be an old-fashioned Swain Murphy game, in my opinion. You know, we both are very similar, I think, and so it's going to be probably come down to who can take care of the ball. You know, that's a big one always. And then in the line of scrimmage game, you know, who can win the battle in the trenches as far as that's going to be a big key for us this week in practice, is we have got to be able to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football. Yeah.
You know, Coach, and talking with, of course, the legendary David Gentry, he and Coach Dietz were both inducted into the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame just a while back, and legendary coaches. And I've talked to Coach Gentry, and he'll tell you, he'll just tell you right up front. He says, man, he says, we always had a hard time winning at Swain. Now, when they came to our place, we felt pretty good, but we just had a hard time winning at Swain when he was the coach there. And so that says a lot about not only our players, our coaches, our field, but a lot about our fans as well, doesn't it? Because it's tough for anybody to come in here and win a ball game.
Yeah, fan support's huge on Friday nights, and I would encourage everybody, Friday to come and support these young people and just enjoy a good high school football atmosphere. We got a really nice stadium. We got nice facilities, and we're playing a really good football team.
Yes.
And not that we don't want you to come every week, but when we're playing really good football teams, it adds a little bit to the mix of it. And so we would encourage everybody to come, because I know one thing from last Friday, trying not to jump back, but we had a tremendous crowd at Hayesville, and the people on the fence. And I remember when we scored that go-ahead touchdown, it felt like we were at home, honestly, because it just roared. And so I'm big on home field advantage. That's great. And we need to pack Memorial Stadium, not only to support the kids, but Hall of Fame night recognition at halftime, be here to support these people that have done a lot for our school. And so it's a great opportunity. I told our kids yesterday, you have an opportunity this week. And so now I guess I'm challenging the fans. Hey, you got an opportunity this week, to come watch two really good football teams go at it. And, I'm excited about what we can do as a team, what we can do as a community, and that's a big part of it. So I encourage everybody to come Friday and cheer these boys on.
Yeah. Coach, one final thought. Again, the Hall of Fame committee has done a great job. Had a great golf tournament last Saturday at Smoky Mountain Country Club. And talking about this stadium, it was recognized this week in an article, I think, with the Asheville Citizen as one of the 10 most beautiful high school stadiums in western North Carolina. That says a lot about the stadium, the folks who have put this together. And again, we want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for their gracious and outstanding golf tournament last week to help in what we do here at Swain County High School.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the board members of the Hall of Fame about the golf tournament, and what a great way. I know they give all that money that they raised in their golf tournament to the ring fund.
Yes.
And that is just another aspect of what we have here at Swain, where people are willing to put in time, effort, work their tails off just to benefit kids.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about. That's why, I think everybody that's in education, coaching, whatever it may be, we do what we do because we care about young people and what they develop into. And so we just want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for not only the Hall of Fame induction this week, but a great golf tournament last weekend, and being able to donate all that money to the ring fund. And so it's just a special place. I've said it before, and it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have money to buy state championship rings. And so, we're just thankful for those people, and thankful for what they mean and what they continue to do for not only our kids, but us as coaches, and just support us in what we do. So we want to really thank them for everything they've done.
Oh, no doubt about it. Fans, that's going to wind it up on this week's Coaches Show. Kickoff is just around the corner. Again, all we have to say is Swain versus Murphy. Stay tuned.